Welcome to Sharp or Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the betting show that makes the squares sharper and makes the wise guys pay attention all year long. I am Chad Millman. I am joined by my BFF, my companion, my compadre, my co-host, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Hello, Chad. It's that time of year, buddy. Olympics.
It's Olympic time, and that's why we're not just doing it, you and me today. We're having Matt Mitchell join us in his Olympic jacket, because we've been talking a lot about the Olympics before our records, because Matt Mitchell is betting them like a freaking maniac. And the truth is, if you look at the numbers, there's nearly 30 million people a day watching the Olympics across all of the various NBC platforms. And I'm watching too, and the coverage is phenomenal between the live during the day and then the recaps and sort of more narrative focused shows going on the main network at night. It's truly awesome. I'm loving it. Matt Mitchell just lost his mind because he's got a bet going on right now on some Canadian hockey game as we record this. Matt Mitchell, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's really an honor. Big first time, long time.
Big fan, right?
Big fan. Yeah, especially if hopefully there's some more indulgent Chad Millman focused Chad Millman stories as told by Chad Millman in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can address the elephant in the room is that, I've had a crazy 8 weeks, and in our first non-football show, Simon asked what was going on, and I had just come back from the All-Star game, and I had some stories. So fucking sue me.
Yeah, it's Simon, it's so crazy that someone so handsome and funny could also be so interesting and humble at the same time. We are truly blessed.
It's true.
Well, now it's like I'm at the dinner table. Yeah. So listen, today, guys, we are going to talk about the Olympics because there is a ton going on. And I would say, even if you're not betting it, and look, the truth is, there's been a lot of conversations around the prediction markets and the betting markets that they're creating around the Olympics, as well as the betting markets available for the Olympics on all of the online sports betting operators that are legal. And the truth is, Olympics is not a big betting sport. It's never been a big betting sport. Winter Olympics especially is not a big betting sport. But I will say that these Olympics have captured people's attention because there are so many freaking narratives going on that to me have been amazing. And so I want us to go through since we all have very specific points of view, what our favorite betting stories are so far. But I know you guys are both very invested in the hockey. So Matt Mitchell, set us up for some hockey betting conversation and what that's been like for you during the Olympics.
Oh, I think Olympic hockey is such an absolute joy to watch, the men's and the women's. I mean, really, especially the women's. You're getting so much action. It's laid out one after the other. You've got games. I mean, this morning I woke up at 6:30 in the morning with two small children, and I'm already in the third period of an Olympic hockey game. I wake up to a full lather because Slovakia and Germany are neck and neck. Like, it's such a nice reprieve as someone that doesn't really like college basketball at all, to the doldrums of mid and late February, to have high stakes, highly organized, elite, nonstop hockey action every day for basically 2 weeks. It has been such a joy. And these American ladies are a collection of complete savages. And I really look forward to watching them in the gold medal match, which unfortunately will be, I think, basically being played as this episode releases on Thursday.
I love the idea of you getting up your two small children who can be incredibly challenging. I mean, not your son, he's a dream, but your daughter, she can give you some fits, and needing to manage a full sweat while making them breakfast and getting them ready for school.
Yeah, as usual, a lot of, Dad, why are you making that face? No, I was just thinking about the weather. Yeah, it's great. I've been doing, actually, my daughter was born the week the sport shut down in 2020. And then I can remember holding her, then extremely small body, and when KBO, when the Korean baseball was coming back. And those games would end at like 6 a.m. And just holding her, which is, I should be humiliated by this admission, but I'm not. But like, I can remember holding her, looking out the window, and the sun's coming up, a beautiful spring morning, and just being like, if one more goddamn Korean bullpen blows a 7-run lead, I'm not going to live to see this girl's 10th birthday. We need real sports to come back, and we need them to come back right away. And these hockey games are a little taste of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the funny thing about Winter Olympics is, especially because I'm just so into football, I honestly have no idea it's coming. And when all of a sudden it's just here, like I'll see either the opening game ceremonies, whatever it is, all of a sudden you're just like, wow, 4 years just went by. That happens to me every time. I always know the Summer Olympics is coming because, like you said, it's so much bigger. You know it's coming. But the Winter Olympics, to me, it's the best surprise. It's someone that grew up on the X Games, always loved the Winter X Games, snowboarding, all that stuff. And as I've gotten older, obviously, just like anyone does, especially as a gambler, you watch all the sports now as I've gotten older. And, for me, my first love will always still be the snowboarding stuff. Like this year, or maybe they had it at the last Olympics, but they do these snowboarding races I've really gotten into. And they basically wear like red, yellow, blue, orange, whatever. And it's 4 teams and they race against each other, 4 different countries. I've really loved that for betting aspect. But yeah, I said to Matt Mitchell, for betting wise, hockey has been what I've been betting on, Chad. And, the USA women, we've kind of hit the peak. Like I didn't want to fade them last week, but I think they were like 7.5 or 8 goal favorites. I had to go against that. It was just way too much. I think they won 5-0 against Sweden, who's, Sweden, very talented. The U.S. women are just that dominant right now. And I think they beat Italy 6-0. But the men's has been the really big surprise here of it's always interesting, Chad, where they just throw these pros together and you don't know how they're going to gel. And hockey guys, I mean, I don't know. Everyone has different opinion on different sports guys. To me, when I think of my favorite personality types, I always think of the hockey guys, the hockey bros. Like even in high school, I love the hockey guys. In college, I love the hockey guys. As I gotten older, I meet guys who play, weekend warriors, play hockey and stuff. They're always the best characters. They're either hilarious to drink with or whatever. They're just always funny guys. And you can tell this USA team gels. Like these guys hang out. They actually like each other. And you're looking for that stuff as someone that's betting and looking for angles. And it's shown up. Like they should have blown out Denmark. They won 6-3. If you go back and look at those 3 goals by Denmark, super stupid, fluky goals where it's like,
nonsense.
This is hockey. Like, guys crashing nets, very fluky. Germany dominated them. Germany got like a fluke 1 goal at the very end of the game. They beat them 5-1. So I don't know about Matt Mitchell. They play today, like we're doing this on Wednesday. They play at 3:10. The women play tomorrow, if anyone wants to catch that game, at 1:10 Eastern. I would definitely check out the women's, obviously. But, yeah, the men's, I'm looking forward today. They play against Sweden. So, obviously, people will hear this full on the result there. But I honestly think this team is legit. They have a real chance to win it all.
What's amazing about this Olympics, it's really taken hold of the narrative and sort of for fandom, right? The condom story, the running out of 10,000 condoms is fantastic.
You know the story behind that? Why they disappeared?
Well, apparently people were taking them for souvenirs.
Exactly. They put it has literally a condom with the Olympic symbol on it. So like these guys who don't make any money, why would you not grab 1,000? I love that like a middle America was like, oh my God, the Olympics are having tons of sex. All these condoms are going.
But here's the thing.
It's like, dude, they are having sex, but they are grabbing that stuff to sell. Let's be real. That's a moneymaker.
But still, I remember we did this story at ESPN the magazine, I think around the 2012 Olympics. Sam Alipore, who's a great reporter, really fun writer, does a lot of TV stuff now in LA. He wrote this story about the Olympic Games basically always being not this, but massive orgies. Just like you've got
good-looking people in great shape together.
Young people in great shape who are like hyper competitive.
Most stressful environment of their lives.
Yes. And they stay in the village and they just fucking let it go. Right. And so there is a lot of sex going on in the Olympic Village, regardless of whether or not they're using all 10,000 condoms. The good news is, according to the New York Post, as of today, a new shipment of condoms has made it to the Olympic Village. So rest assured, people can have safe sex in Milan Cortina right now.
I'm not just saying this because I lost all my money betting on Czechia live at 10-1 to beat Canada and just had to watch them lose the minute overtime started. But I am embarrassed. The 1 millionth example of how I'm still poor, that I didn't think to just get on a plane, go to the Olympics, to grab as many condoms as I could carry, to fly immediately home and sell them on the black market and make a killing, like I'm sure so many of the world's finest athletes and their hangers-on thought of. Like, what was I doing? I was just sitting here listening to Chad's NBA All-Star Game stories instead of doing that. It's a shame there's no bus line between Milwaukee and Milan. Otherwise, I probably would have thought of it.
Would you say that my All-Star Game stories are better, worse, or the same than, say, the story about penis flapgate at the Olympics over the past 2 weeks?
I mean, that's really a question for I don't know, like Jimmy Goldstein or Demi Moore. I mean, that's a question you'd ask some A-list celebrity.
Matt, it's Demi. You're showing your Milwaukee.
She's always been Mrs. Bruce Willis to me as the world's #1 Bruce Willis fan.
And people are being too hard on Chad here. I said to multiple people that were making fun of you or picking on you, Chad, I said at least he didn't tell us what his son's college roommate thinks. Because that to me was peak level Chad just missing the plot. I never want to hear ever again about Chad's son's roommate in college, what that kid thinks. Literally could care less. But Chad, he cares. And that's why we love Chad.
I don't even remember what that story
Whatever it was, I just remember when you went there, I was just like, my God.
Indiana football. Yeah, it's talking about Indiana football. He just lost his mind. He was in a state of psychosis. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
When Hulk Hogan would say he was entering a state of Hulkamania. Like Chad's Hulkamania was Indiana football for 100 days. That was quite a time to be alive.
Now, what are we gonna do, boys? Are we gonna make fun of Canada for being cheaters in the lamest game ever? Are we gonna talk about the controversy?
Curling?
The Canadian curling. This is why the Olympics are so great this year is curling has a controversy and it has turned the world against Canada for being foul-mouthed and poor sports. That's amazing to me. I still can't tell if they're cheating, if they're doing the double touch, but now all of a sudden there's got to be intensive video reviews of all of it. They could be getting away with it. I don't think Canadians cheat. I love Canadians, very kind people. Matt Mitchell, where do we stand on the Canadians cheating?
I really appreciated that. My understanding of the controversy is that there's the culture of curling is one of incredible sportsmanship and self-regulation. The athletes call their own fouls on one another. It's very sporting in that sense, very old school. So as part of that, there's not traditionally a down the line view of what's called the hog line, which would result in a double touch if you're touching the stone when it touches that line. The Swedes believed the Canadians were cheating and not calling it, so they set up their own camera angle. Which
that was my favorite part, Matt. They set up their own
a sting. They set up an Olympic sting, which is why the Canadian Mark Kennedy was so apoplectic and profane about defending himself, because he thought, well, there's no way, there's no footage of it. That's our whole thing. And then as former employees of a Danish-owned company, the whole Scandinavian region is so unbelievably calm and refined and within themselves emotionally. I'm none of those things. So seeing the Canadian lose his mind and get really pissy, and the Swedes look at them with the same look many executives looked at me when I would be explaining something, of how curious. Your anger is very curious to me. I'm not Not sure it calls for this histrionics. And they nailed him perfectly. It was a perfect scandal. There's a good guy, there's bad guys, there's a sting. It's low stakes because it's curling, but it's also high stakes because it's the Olympics. 10 out of 10 scandal.
And it's my favorite part too. It's like, I don't watch him anymore because now it messed with my head about driving. I used to always watch those dash cam videos of accidents. And it's when the people get like reverse ended people and they get out the blame on them. And then they see the dash camera. That's what the Canadian guy felt like, where he was so sure, so confident. And the Swedish guy, like Matt said, he's just so relaxed, letting him just air it out. And then simply being like, we brought our own camera. And here, I'm going to show the footage to the referees. That was just icing on the cake.
Great comparison.
Yeah, very, very well done, Simon. It's also a little bit, that they pre-planned that, right? They must have seen some kind of footage or in competition.
Some other team told on them, apparently.
Okay.
And they denied it again at that time. And again, the Swedes, I love it. They're like, we'll set up our own camera and literally zoom in on this guy. This
is a juicy, soapy, dishy Olympics. We had the dude who won a gold medal, I think, and while being interviewed, admitted to cheating on his girlfriend.
Or it might have been a bronze, but still, even more.
Yeah, it was bronze.
Bronze.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, that just shows how dumb you are.
He knew what he was doing, though. That was a good move by him. Because it's like, he had a little bit of spot. Like, he knew that would be a big story because I think it was like day 2. And yeah, they immediately ate it up right away. They were like, oh, it was like the next day. They're like, did she take you back? And it's like, no, I'm still blocked. Yeah.
I think my favorite part of that, by the way, was that the initial headlines were essentially athlete admits cheating in acceptance speech, which was true and misleading and made everybody click on it. And then I read it. It was like, oh, outstanding work. Perfect execution, because it was even more hilarious than admitting actual cheating at the event.
Wait,
admitting
Simon,
cheating on a girlfriend. Perfect.
You think he did this to manipulate the story and get more action? Like this would put him on the market and give him opportunities?
Well, he's already a narcissist because he cheated on a girl after whatever it was, 2-3 months. So that just adds it up. I honestly, when I first saw the headline like you, I thought it was like that. I think it was like a South American soccer player that basically thanked his wife and then his girlfriend in his acceptance speech. Like, wasn't thinking clearly because he was so excited. He's like, I want to thank my wife and my girlfriend. And then like had to retract and be like, yeah, I cheated on my wife. I thought he did that moment. It was like, no, this guy openly admitted to it. He was like, yeah, I told my girlfriend before I came here and she dumped me and she's the love of my life, even though we've only been together for 3 months. And it's like, oh my God, this man is a head case, or 6 months, whatever it was. But yeah, that again, like you said, I love these Olympic stories because you get stuff like that where it's just these crazy Europeans. As much as they think we're crazy Americans, there's nothing better than a crazy European.
There's 2 more stories I want to talk about, but let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsors at Hard Rock Bet. Today's show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet, Florida's sportsbook. I know it's tough with no football, but like the song says, I bet I will survive. With Hard Rock Bet, there's always something to bet on every night. Hoops, hockey, and so much more. Plus all the great same-game parlay live betting and player prop options you're used to. And did you know Hard Rock Bet is the official sports betting partner of the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic? Incredible! So if you haven't signed up with Hard Rock Bet yet, there's never been a better time. New signups can double their winnings on their first 10 bets, max $50. That's right. If you would have won $100 on your bet, make that $200. The Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app is the only legal sportsbook for whenever you're in Florida, and it's also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, Colorado, and Michigan. Coming soon to more states too. Plus, Hard Rock Bet offers new promos daily, so whenever you're listening, just open the app and check out what you've got any day of the week. Download the Hard Rock Bet and make your first deposit. All right. So to me, the contrast here between the American expectations and the quad god falling and openly admitting sort of the pressure getting to him, which I think is wonderful that he's present and open and talking about it. Michaela Schifrin has done the same thing. And until her last attempt, She had not won a gold medal. She now won a gold medal in the slalom. She's actually, I think, the winningest skier for gold in American history now with 3. She's only the second person to win the slalom in 2 different Olympics. No taking away from Michaela Schifrin, who's obviously the greatest skier, downhill skier in history, man or woman. But meanwhile, Norway, talk about like Scandinavian Nordic countries that just keep moving forward. Their cross-country skier, who now has, I think, 10 overall gold medals, Johan Hosflat Klæbo, who basically runs uphill during cross-country skiing, and he's doing 6-minute miles on skis in the snow. That is, to me, bar none, the best story of the games. He has created a new technique that makes him so dominant, people can't see him when they are like in second place. He's so far ahead. The best.
I read a fabulous piece, and I can't find it. I can't credit the person, but the person was in Nordic kind of games and said the most impressive part of that isn't that they, he's acting like they cut out Secretariat's heart and put it inside his body. It was that he was doing that in concert with this incredible support team that these Scandinavian teams have for these games, because they're the best at it, that you have to wax your skis and you have to use 2 different kinds, one to help you slide and one that helps you stick. And so it requires mastery to apply. But if you screw it up, for example, if you try running up the hill like that and you're using it wrong, you'll slide backwards. It'll be totally self-defeating. So that the way to do that, to execute it as he did, was to stomp your feet straight down really hard. And that the fact that he was running it like over 11 miles an hour at one point and looked like it was churning like a train, but he was actually having to stomp each step straight down into the snow, but doing so quickly that it looks like he's jogging, was absolutely the most impressive part of it, because he had to do it in such a precise way. And if you messed up, that would, because you got tired or whatever, you would ruin your whole advantage. Remarkable. This guy's an absolute like animal. It was unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, I'd never heard of him, and I feel it was NBC or someone did a storyline on the first day, and it was like, this is the Michael Phelps of this cross-country skiing. It's like, all right, I got to check out this guy's event. The first one I watched, I was joking with you, Chad, the announcers were like, and this is his worst event, so this should be a real challenge for him. And then it cuts to, an hour later, he's got like a 10-second lead on another guy from Norway, because Norway is just dominant at this cross-country skiing stuff. And he blows him out. He wins. And he's like laying down there. All these guys, they collapse at the end of it, right? They're just so exhausted. They lay there for a minute. This guy is such a good dude. He doesn't get up and go do like interviews and stuff like that. He waits for his teammates who come and collapse and then takes off all their skis for them. And it's like the humbleness of this guy and the fact that he is just, everyone says he is a psycho. Like you said, his training apparently is just insane. The same thing you said about Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps did not miss a day in the pool for 10 years. Every day, 7 days a week. And apparently this guy's the same thing. It's middle of July. He's going to the highest Nordic pines, Alps, of the top of the Arctic Circle of Norway, just to go uphill on snow. Like, this guy is just a full-on psycho. So yeah, he's 24, you said? So we're going to get another 2, possibly 3 more Olympics of this guy. We'll see how he heads into his 30s, but pretty incredible what he's accomplished at such a young age.
I think you guys know from having worked with me for so long, and now our audience knows, I am that kind of selfless, unselfish person.
You are.
I would not celebrate before helping you guys take off your skis.
Oh, thanks, Chad.
I would have a beer before. I'd have at least a beer while waiting. I mean,
I would have won by so much that I could do that.
Go get your nuts. Go enjoy yourself.
Yeah, you have some exotic oils.
Yeah.
Some exotic oils and nuts from trees we don't even have access to.
They're the ones at Jimmy Goldstein's house.
Yeah, you and Demi sharing a macadamia spread.
You can't get those nuts. On the flip side of this, and this is the last story, sorry to end it on a downer, but
no, I'm glad you put this one. Is this going to be the China stuff?
Yeah. for
Yeah, I
all the
love it.
glory of NBC's mastery of the Olympics and how great the stories are, the number of times I have heard announcers say Eileen Gu, who's from San Francisco, is skiing for China to honor her mother. I have heard it so many times that if I got $1, I would be as rich as Eileen Gu for all the money she has gotten from China, which was a story this week that broke that she has been paid millions of dollars to ski and compete for China. To put it in context, she is the 4th highest paid female athlete in the world, behind Coco Gauff, Sabalenka, and Swiatek. Is that how I say her name? The tennis player? So apparently just competing for China was another money grab. Simon.
Yeah. I saw it was basically like her incentives were wild too. Like, and no one knows how real the money is because it is China. But I believe she did get silver. Apparently, if she had gotten gold, it was like insane what they were going to give her part of her contract. But yeah, I think the story you saw, the same one I did, Chad, was that China basically spent $40 million on just American athletes alone.
Wall Street Journal.
To compete in the Olympics, which is, a lot of people might be like, stick their nose up at it. But we talk all the time. America's advantage, especially on the women's side, from your youth to your adulthood of just support in sports, it's not like these other countries. It's just America is just so much more committed to sports in these other countries. So to me, China, I feel like this is a smart little cheat code for them if they can keep getting away with this, because you're using all the institutions that America has, all the great coaching, everything like that, and you're just paying the back end of it, and you can reap the rewards of it. So because we know China's Winter Olympics is not good like that. There's the ice, the fast skating and stuff like that is stuff they've always been good at, the synchronized skating. But yeah, I was shocked to read this because once again, I didn't know any of this was happening. So yeah, good breakdown by you, Chad.
I mean, I don't want to get overly serious or overly political, but I do want to address right to camera the People's Republic of China right now. It's just you and me, China. Listen to me. Only you can help defeat the capitalist dogs of the Indiana Hoosier football program. Together with your tens of millions of dollars, you, me, and my University of Missouri Tiger football program can overthrow them and begin a new glorious revolution within the SEC. My phone lines are open. I can help bridge this gap, and it will only cost you several $100 million. We can do this. I support you.
I actually wonder, I really thought you were going to make a plea for them to sponsor your daughter as a future Olympian in whatever sport she chooses. This is a serious question, which is, how much would it take for you to decide to compete for another country in the Olympics? Because to me, isn't part of the joy of being in the Olympics is like competing for your country? And I don't know, like, you want to make money. I'm not blind to the idea that a lot of these athletes are professionals. They make a lot of money. You get bonuses for being in the Olympics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like, at the end of the day, it's not just about being a mercenary competing for the most money. It is about the joy and like draping the flag and walking in the opening ceremonies and walking in the closing ceremonies and being part of a team of countrymen that like is supposed to be inherent in the experience. So I can't even think of a number that it would take for me to want to go compete for somebody else.
You've had a very good, comfortable life, Chad. So that makes total sense. I'm right there with you. I could never, I don't know what the dollar amount would have to be, but if I was great at a sport, I'm right there with you. I'd rather be great under the American flag than China's flag. But these other people, I get it. Like, if you have some sort of ties to it, especially if you're a West Coaster and the money is just that big, like that's an insane, like what they're reporting is an insane amount of money that she's being paid. So I get your perspective. I share it, but I can't hold it against her. That's just so much money to turn down. And like you said, I think they're trying to use the loop of that she's doing it for her mom. Whatever gets her to sleep at night. But we all know. So you got to live with that, right?
Simon is always the voice of like the cold, hard truth. Whereas I'd like to believe in sort of the best of people. Simon doesn't see that. Matt Mitchell.
Yeah. The idea of two countries, including America, competing for my athletic surfaces on the world stage is as insane a hypothetical as if I had wings, would I still be allowed to compete in the Olympics? So I'm not even really sure how to engage with this hypothetical.
I think we can all agree on one thing. This Olympics has been a conversation starter, because I don't think we've ever talked about the Olympics on this podcast, either in its previous iteration or obviously in this one, in our 7 years together. That's how big the Olympics have been. 30 million people a day watching these things. And now we're talking about it. We are off next week, Matt Mitchell, correct?
That's right. We'll see people the week of March 2nd.
All right. We're back the week of March 2nd. That's kind of when football season kicks off. We have some football conversations lined up for that week already. A lot of conversations that are going to impact player movement, futures, how we're digesting, handicapping, and thinking about the NFL season to come. This has been Sharper Square, part of the Volume Podcast Network. Watch or listen on YouTube at Sharper Square. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, download us from Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until next time, love you.